All right, all right, all right. Good evening. Let me get started here in just a moment, though. Going to get this started in just a moment. I want to make sure I share this out. There we go. All right. All right. Well, first of all, good evening. I definitely want to say hi to you guys. I know it's been a little while, maybe a few weeks, maybe longer, since the last time I did a Facebook Live. So I wanted to get back into it. Today's topic, I guess you can see from above, I am continuing from the article that I wrote, which is entitled the same thing. It's called Getting Back into Shape the Easy Way. And, the reason why I chose to do a Facebook Live is because, again, I think people consume information a little bit differently. So maybe for you, maybe reading is not your cup of tea, and that's totally fine. But what I'm looking forward to in this session is that essentially I'll go into some of the details of what I talked about in the article, and then who knows, maybe we'll see some questions from you that maybe I can answer at this point, and just kind of have maybe a little bit more dialogue, considering, a lot of times when you're reading an article, it's pretty much one way, one directional. So I'm going to kind of get started with that. Hopefully that kind of piques your interest. And again, as the more we do these Facebook Lives or what have you, I'll definitely get better. But with everything, you got to start where you are. So guess what? That's where I'm at. We're going to start there. So as I get started, or as I jump in, I definitely want to give you a quick introduction as to what this is all about. So again, this particular Facebook Live is to talk about the current weight loss journey that I'm on. I do want to talk about some of the details, maybe spend a little bit more time, whereas trying to write some of those things is pretty time consuming. But I do want to talk about some of the current strategies. I do want to talk about where I have seen success before, and that can be in your meals, in the workouts, what plan I've selected. We can talk about really just some of those different details that I have seen, some of those experiences that I have seen before. So hopefully there's some value with that. So I do want to kind of get started. Where did I start originally? So I want to give a little bit of a background. I've done this before a few years ago. I actually followed a very similar program or similar journey before, and I essentially started at about 280 pounds, and that was at my heaviest that I am aware of. It was definitely pretty heavy, and I got down to about 212 pounds, and I don't recall the exact body fat percentage at that time, but I know it was pretty low, probably in the 13, 14, 15 maybe body fat percentage, which is, it's pretty low. It's not exactly where I wanted to end up, but it definitely is. It is a lot closer to my goal than I've ever been in a long time, especially as an adult. So I do want to talk a little bit about that, sort of what that looked like, and then address some of the other ones. So of course, whenever you look in the mirror, as I'm sure many of you guys look in the mirror every single day, sometimes it's the little things where you get out of the shower, like oftentimes I do, and you tend to, you won't see those changes over time. Maybe you'll see, like, hey, I'm getting a little bit pudgy, but it's not a big deal. And one day you just kind of wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened to me? How did I get this ginormous gut that I have, right? Where it sits over my belt buckle, and that's not very attractive. And of course, a lot of times, so granted, you can still be confident and have a big gut, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about looking your very best, feeling your very best, that definitely bleeds over into other areas of our life. For me, that could be confidence, that could be, you know, how clothes look on you. Hello. I don't know about y'all, but when I get certain outfits on, you know, certain shirts and pants just fit a certain way, and I just like a certain look. So, of course, you know, for whatever reason that you're trying to lose the weight, it could be for health reasons. Like for me, when I have extra weight on, my blood pressure goes through the roof. And of course, I don't necessarily want to be on blood pressure medication. I don't know where you guys are with that. But I definitely don't want to get other things. Diabetes is not something that I'm all that excited about, right? Or any other health, you know, issues that could come as a result of extra weight. I'm not trying to play. So there's looking good when you get out of the shower, when you're in your birthday suit, right? That's important. But I also recognize too that there's the health issue. And so whatever your reason is, you know, I would say write that down so that you know your reason, because there will come a time when you're going through this journey that you're going to wonder, okay, what am I doing this for? You know, maybe it's gotten difficult. Maybe, you know, you're okay with where you are in that moment, but I would encourage you to remember why you started. You know, what are your goals that you want to reach? You know, for me, it definitely is to cut the fat. Because I haven't reached my goal, my long-term goal as an adult. So of course that's one of the things. But then I think secondly, and more importantly, I think it's the weight, is to get the my health. You know, that's something I'm really you know, want to get under control. So that's sort of where I started. I want to say really quickly to those who are in the room, Christina, hello. She says it's not that bad. Montez, I want to say hello. Victor, Jerome Wilson, I guess Jerome Wilson and Jerome Kiyaku are in the house. I see some others have joined us, so definitely want to say thank you guys for joining me on this Facebook Live. Feel free to post any questions if you have any, and this is really kind of our time to kind of connect. Whereas, you know, again, sometimes when you're writing or what have you, don't get that opportunity. So that's kind of where I started. Where am I at today? Let's talk about that real quick. So at this moment, I'm actually, you know, my weight's fluctuating, but when I started, I was about 245 pounds. And I can give you a couple of other numbers. 245 pounds, 26.6% body fat. My stomach is about 45 inches. Waist is about 41 inches, 41.75. And I can post some of these other ones. 16-inch neck, which is not, you know, anything. My arms about 16.5 inches. Thighs about 25 inches. Calves 17 inches. Hips 44.5 inches. I'm just throwing out numbers now. So if you hear a number that resonates with you, maybe you're something very close to that, or maybe not. Maybe you're in a different place. What I find just as I look at myself in the mirror, of course, my biggest places of weakness is the stomach, right? My belly has the tire or the love handles. Those are that's my weak area. I think pretty much everything above my stomach is pretty good. I mean, it could definitely get you know, more lean in that area. I think my thighs, they're not terrible, but I think there is, you know, a level of fat there. So, but it's not bad. I think the worst offender is my stomach, if you were to look at me. So that's where I'm holding a lot of the weight. Now, if you were to look at me, people look at me and say, oh, you know, you don't really look that bad. You know, I couldn't tell that you're carrying that much weight. I can see it. So I'm looking in the camera now. I can actually see my jaw is definitely, you know, it has a round effect to it, whereas typically it would be, you know, a little tighter. This area here. So I see those things, right? So whether it's my stomach or my face, I definitely see it in my cheeks and my jaw. It's just little things. And maybe, you know, you may not notice. It's like, oh, it's not a big deal. But when you know what it looks like on the other side, and you know it's just a matter of putting in that work to get it done. So I see Cruz is in the house. Hey, Cruz, welcome. Darlene is in the house. Thank you guys for joining us. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining me today. So yeah, so those are my numbers. And again, I can post these out there so you can get a chance to look at it. But maybe, you know, your areas of challenges are somewhere around there. Yeah, Christina says it shows in my face so bad. Yeah, it's definitely one of those places, as we're talking about, where the fat placement sits. You know, it definitely, for me, sits in this area here. And for many people, it does. I know some men, I've heard they have, you know, man boobs. You know, I don't know if that's, you know, some people have different places where fat likes to sit. For me, it's not in my chest. It's in my stomach. For others, it's in their chest, I hear. And you're able to hide it with certain clothes. You know, I know for me, I wear vests. One of the reasons why I wear vests is to hide where my pants meet my shirt, right? Or I wear coats to cover where my, you know, my love handles are. It's just little things that we do along the way to kind of hide and to, you know, shape where you are, right? Hey, I'm not the only one, guys. Trust me, you guys are probably doing some of this too, unless you're just in amazing shape. But I mean, this is what I've had to do over the years to kind of work with it. And I got to a place where I even told myself, you know, I'm not buying any more clothes, at least not larger clothes, right? My pants aren't going to get any larger. I'm not buying any larger shirts. The only way I'm going to lose this is if I force myself to really get myself into the clothes that I have. So I'm not going to buy anything larger. I'm only going to buy things smaller. So that sort of, you know, that was my break, if you will. When I got to the point that my pants were so tight that I had to basically, you know, hold my breath to unbutton my pants and then breathe, I knew it was time to get back into shape. Okay. And I don't know what that looks like for you. So that's kind of where I'm at, or where I started initially. And then I'll kind of talk now about where I'm going. Like, so what's my game plan? And again, I've done this before in the past. And if you were around a few years ago, you would have seen that transformation. I made a huge gain. And so I know that it works. Okay. So it's not a matter of, you know, does it work? Can it work? It's just getting back into the groove. And the thing I struggled with the most is when I got into the groove. Let me say, hey, Kim. Kim is in the house. And I say hi to you yet, Kim? Randy, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you could join me. But a few years ago when I was doing this last time, I mean, I got to a place that I was very focused. You know, I was eating 6 meals a day and I was working out consistently. It didn't make a difference where I was, whether I was on a cruise ship, whether I was on vacation, whether I was at home. You know, I was very strict about doing those things that I know I should do. Here's the problem. How do you get back to that place? Or how do you get to that mindset of being consistent and working hard and doing all the right things when you're not in that place today? Like, if your mindset is, I'm eating junk food, or, you know, I don't feel like working out. Maybe you haven't worked out. Maybe you're not doing the right things. How do you go from not doing the things that you should to all of a sudden doing the right things? Well, the way that I do it, and again, this is just my strategy, is I start off really slow. Okay. And that means, and I kid you not, I do this every single time just to get started. So I have seen myself, when I first get started, week 1, I go into the gym and I'm wearing, you know, my gym clothes. I walk in with my bags and, you know, and I'm looking like I'm going to do something. I go in the gym, put on my gym clothes. and then I go and I do one exercise for a body part. So chest day, let's say, Monday, Sunday, whatever is leg day, chest day, what have you. I go and I do one exercise. Now for me, one exercise means this. So if I'm doing chest day, it would be bench press. Okay. And the bench press would be the only exercise that I do. Now I'm doing roughly around 6 sets, which is somewhere between, and I'll give you the numbers. Right now, I'm following Simeon Panda's plan, which is a warm-up of 20 reps, followed by 15, 12, I think it's 8, 4, 4. So you're doing about 6 sets. You're doing some warm-ups, and then you're basically going down and getting heavier with each and every single set. Okay, to the point where when I'm down doing, 2 sets of 4s, I'm doing heavy weight at that. Whereas the 20, which is my first set, is really just a warm-up set, right? It's something that I can do that's going to stop around 20 reps. And I do that for each of my different body parts. So let's say, Sunday might be, leg day, Monday, chest, then you got Tuesday back, Wednesday would be shoulders, Thursday, could be a weak spot. Let's say, for example, I have chest for me is my weak spot. I would maybe do chest a second day, or if legs is your weak spot, you could do on Thursday, you can do a workout for your legs or for your chest or whatever your weak spot is. You can use that. Friday, then I will end with arms. And then Saturday, you can do calves and abs. And of course, you have your own breakdown, whatever works for you. This is just what works for me. Let me say hi to Tyrone, Melissa, and Crystal. Thank you for joining me. We're kind of talking just a few minutes on what the workout plan looks like. So each day, my goal is to do one body part. Okay. And so week 1, I'm going in and I'm spending about 15 whopping minutes on just one exercise. Now, this is crazy for some people, because have you ever walked into a gym and everybody's working out and everything else, and then they see you walk in and then you go in and do one exercise and then bounce? Now, that is awkward to me. Every single time I start, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. No one else does. And so they kind of look at you when you're walking out like, dude, you haven't even busted a sweat yet. What do you think you're doing? And I laugh a little bit, because I know that give me a few weeks, I'm going to kill it, right? But here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to go in the gym and then kill myself week 1 and then be so sore that I can't work out week 2 because I'm like Frankenstein, right? And I don't know if you guys ever done that before, but if you ever kill yourself in the gym that week 1 and you're like, I can't move, I hurt too bad, that will stop you from working out again, at least for a couple of days, because you're in pain. Trust me, I know, I've been there before. So by working just one exercise week 1, what you're doing is you're just starting the habit. And of course, you will be sore if you haven't done anything in a while. But you won't be so sore that you can't come back next week and do it again. So the goal for week 1 is essentially just to get started. Cardio. So I just talked about one exercise, one weight training exercise. Let's say it's bench press being Monday. You'll do 5 minutes of cardio. Again, very simple, easy to do, right? And then having done your cardio, of course, that's essentially pretty easy. You have that, and then you're going to eat one healthy meal. Now, one healthy meal, and I'll talk about the foods in a minute, but you'll do that. And again, everything is so easy to do, because again, who can't do 5 minutes of cardio? I mean, 5 minutes of cardio, you could do that, walking down to the mailbox a few times. You could do that walking around the block probably. 5 minutes of cardio is easy peasy. But the goal here, guys, is not to like go into week 1 and think you're going to lose 1,000 pounds. The goal of week 1 is just to get started. Okay. Now, here's the cool thing. You can do this week 1, which is essentially one exercise and 5 minutes of cardio. And you can do that for as many weeks as you need to until you feel comfortable that you got it down, because that's really the goal here, right? Let me say hi to Calvin. Calvin, what's going on, bro? Glad that you can join me. So you do 5 minutes of cardio, and then you're done. And you do that for each day that you're going to work out. Now, when you go on to week 2, you can either continue to do it. So let's say for me, I actually messed up week 1 when I first got started because I missed some days. And I told myself that if I miss a day, I'm going to continue to stay there until I can get all of my days where I'm consistently doing it. And so I went back week 2 and I did it again. That week I was able to get all my stuff in, complete all my exercises, do all my cardio sessions, and I was able to eat at least one healthy meal. And that was a win. So again, for me, that's building the habit. And that's the most important piece, because we're not doing this for just a quick sprint. We're doing this for a lifelong change, right? So you gotta change your habit. Now, some people say, 20 days would, to create a new habit. For me, unfortunately, 20 days was never enough. I needed a lot more time than 20. So having said that, I just continue to do that same thing. So week 1, it's one exercise, 5 minutes of cardio, and one meal. Week 2, assuming that I got everything right on week 1, I'll then do 2 exercises per body part. Okay, 10 minutes of cardio, and I'm just adding slowly. I'll have 2 meals where I'm eating the right foods. And then week 3, I'll continue to do the same thing. Men, hey, my man, how you doing, sir? I'm glad you could join me. Definitely, man, you have the body of steel, definitely in shape, holding it down. Yeah, Christina says, I've read that 21 days is not correct anyways. It's longer, like 3 months. I mean, for me, to be honest, it takes me a whole lot longer than 21 days. Sometimes it's like 6 weeks. It could be 8 weeks before I even get that habit in place. And even still, I have to stay on top of that. So going back, week 2, 2 exercises, 10 minutes of cardio. Week 3 exercises per body part, 15 minutes of cardio. And then eventually what I'm trying to get up to is I'm trying to get up to 20 minutes of cardio, which is essentially 4 weeks of not messing up, and then 4 exercises per body part. Now, again, I want to remind you that I'm doing about 6 sets per exercise. And again, a warm-up is included in that. But I'm doing a warm-up, and I have definitely some working sets in that 6 sets per exercise, and I do about 4. Now on leg day, I do Men says, I hate cardio. Yeah, me too, right? I've never really enjoyed it. It's not as fun as lifting weights or something, but hey, it's what you got to do if you have some extra weight around your gut. But I keep going back. I just keep going until I get to the point that I've flushed out. Now leg day, I am moving up to about 6 exercises for leg day. But most of the other ones, the rest of the body parts, is about 4 exercises. And then I think for chest being my second workout day, I do another set or another group of exercises for chest, because my chest just does not grow. I mean, some people, they can just do a couple bench presses and their chest explodes. Mine, unfortunately, I look like somebody punched me in the chest and it just never grows. I don't know what it is. Now, it's not. Now I'm exaggerating. It's not that flat, right? But I would like for it to really explode. So that's kind of my thing. So that's kind of how that works as far as, starting from week 1. The goal here is to slowly grow this thing, right? Is to slowly get into the habit where you're working each day towards your goal. And for me, to be honest, I mean, I'm gonna be very transparent with you. I didn't do it in 4 weeks. It has taken me probably 8 or 9 weeks to the point where, I'm just about running at full speed. But it wasn't how fast I could get there, right? It was that I'm consistent. Because once I get to that point that I'm running at full speed, I mean, then I'm flying. And so eating the right foods, and that's something else I will say. I didn't start out eating the right foods for every meal. I ate crappy foods, but I at least made an effort in the beginning to eat 1 or 2 good meals. And what I found is that as I was making progress in the gym, that motivated me to start eating healthy and watching what I was eating, because in order to see the results on the scale or what have you, I got to eat right. Because, you know, I've heard someone once say, you can't outrun a bad diet. There's not enough jogging that you can do to make up for all the garbage that you put in your mouth. So you definitely want to eat right. Let me say what's up to Tanya Walker, Henrietta Tanner. Welcome. Min, I don't know if you want to see, he said, let me see it. Let me say JB is in the house. Hey, JB. Welcome. Glad you could join us, bro. So working out, I mean, definitely, again, it took me time to get to where I am. It didn't happen overnight, but again, over time, that progress is going to pick up. So as I was making progress in the gym and I wanted to see the results, when I looked in the mirror, I knew that I had to match my workouts with the foods. Now I'll talk to you about what the foods are. So what am I eating right now? So right now I'm eating about between 4 to 6 meals. And that consists of breakfast. That includes like supplements, like protein drinks. That includes those plus the meals. In the morning when I wake up, I usually start off the same every day. I'll usually have 6 eggs. That would be 4 egg whites and 2 whole eggs. And then I'll have a bowl of oatmeal. Right now I'm eating grits. I kind of got tired of oatmeal. So I was like, I can't do oatmeal for a while. So I stopped doing oatmeal and I'm doing grits right now. And I went to BJ's and got a big old ginormous, container full. So it's going to take me a while to get through it. Ricky Bailey, what's going on, Ricky? Welcome to the call, bro. So that's breakfast, and that usually gets me started. I can usually do that after I do, fasted cardio. Fasted cardio means you do this without eating first. Typically, when you first get up in the morning, you'll do fasted cardio for however long you're doing it for. I'm trying to get up to 20 minutes. I'm at 15 minutes currently, and then you'll eat your food. And what that will do is that'll help you burn more calories, because your body doesn't have any food to find energy. So what you'll do is you're basically burning off of fat storage, which is what you want to do. So fasted storage means you sleep. The food that you ate yesterday should be gone after that time. You get up, you do your cardio session before you eat breakfast. In my case, it will be eggs and grits. And then if you're going to work out in the morning, which is what I'll be transitioning to this week, is working out in the morning, which is after my meals, followed by a protein shake. Okay, so that will be meal 1 and 2. As I get going, I have lean cuts of steak, which I'll get a huge thing of steak from BJ's, and I'll just cut it up and then I'll freeze it into little freezer bags. So I can probably get about 16, 18 steaks out of each one of those. It's about $20 for a steak. I'll do chicken breast. Clearly that's already lean fat. You can get about 10 pounds from BJ's or Sam's, Costco, what have you, for about $16, which is plenty. And then you can do fish. I do tilapia, and I understand some people are adamantly against tilapia. It's, horrible fish, and, we can definitely talk about that in another call, but that's what I'm currently eating for fish. It doesn't have that fishy taste. It gives me enough protein. It's easy to cook. Brown rice as carbohydrates, I usually do about a cup right now, which is plenty. And then I do sweet potatoes. I'll throw in some veggies, mixed veggies, broccoli, cauliflower, something along those lines. But you want to get your veggies in there, and then plenty of water. Currently, what I'm doing as far as measuring, I am actually measuring the macros. Now, for some people, you don't know what the word macros means. Let me quickly tell you. Macros essentially is I'm counting how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbohydrates, how many grams of fat per day. So for me, and I don't want to get too crazy because I didn't even talk about this, but essentially what the recommendation is, let's say 1 gram of protein for every pound of lean body mass that you have. So for me, I probably have about 170 some yacht pounds of lean muscle mass. The rest of that is fat. Okay, so I'm not going to eat 245 pounds of protein. I'm going to eat 1 gram rather per pound. So if that's too confusing, just ignore what I just said. But if you know what that means, that's what I'm doing. So I'm eating about 170 grams ish, somewhere around there, of protein. I match that with roughly the same amount in carbohydrates. I tend to eat a little bit more only because I need to make up for my calories. And then I do about 70 grams of fat, which can come in the form of what's on my meat, what's in the eggs, nuts. You can get fat from there, peanuts, almonds, walnuts, whatever that you like. Also, if you do olive oil, which I don't do a lot of olive oil right now, I do mainly Pam when I cook. But that could also be used for healthy fats as well. So that's kind of what I'm eating. I mean, to be at the end of the day, to be honest, I kind of got to a place where I don't really eat for taste anymore. I mean, I might throw in some spices, pepper, salt, what have you, but it's just kind of like I just eat, right? I just kind of eat because I know it's fueling my body. So somewhere between 4 to 6 meals a day. I also have a couple protein shakes, usually after I work out. Right. So that's pretty easy. And I just eat the same thing. For some people, they ask the question, do you want to eat the same thing? Yes, I eat the same thing almost every day because it's easy to cook. I don't have time to think about, some glamorous meal that I want to cook. I just kind of eat the same thing because it's easy to cook. I can, like right now, I'll go down and throw some chicken in the oven for about an hour, and I kind of just get ready for my day. It takes 18 minutes to cook the rice, and broccoli I just kind of throw frozen. And so when I warm it up tomorrow, it's perfect. I just have my meals. Steak, I'll cook, I'll cut it up, and I'll have that, for one of the meals. I will add, and again, this is probably next level, but before I work out, I usually have either fish, if it's in the afternoon, because it's easy to digest, and I'll have eggs in the morning because, again, it's light and it's easy to digest. So we talked about meals. We talked about the workout, cardio. I like to do stairs. So I actually, right behind me is the staircase. I tend to do that right now about 15 minutes a day. What I want to get to is 2 sessions of cardio at 20 minutes each, once in the morning, once I get up, and then once before bed. So that should give me about 40 minutes of cardio a day, but I'll break it up into 2 sessions. And that's pretty easy once I get into the swing of things. Real quick, I want to talk about supplements. For some people, supplements, it may or may not matter to you. Anita, Chris, welcome. Monty, welcome. Glad you can join me. Real quick, supplements. So again, Lee Morgan, welcome. Supplements. So I didn't jump in with a bunch of supplements when I first got started. Jimmy Harris, welcome. And the reason being I wasn't really jumping in on that is because for me, again, I want to move into this thing slowly. So before I spend all this money on supplements, I just wanted to get right. I wanted to get my meals right. I wanted to get my workout right. I wanted to get the cardio right. And I'm at a place now where I wanted to add a few extra supplements. So what am I adding? I'm currently adding right now, I have BCAAs. And I wish I had it here in front of me. I'd show it to you. But the reason I'm taking the BCAAs is because I don't want to lose muscle. And so what BCAAs will do for you is it will help protect your muscle while you're cutting your fat. Okay. You can add BCAAs. It's basically a powder. If you like, flavor water, it's a great way to consume it. You take it. I think I have fruit punch, right? You put it in your water bottle, you shake it up. And I only do. So here's the recommendation. So if you look at the container, BCAAs, they'll tell you to consume no more than, I think it's 10 milligrams a day. Cool. Exactly. Christina says branch chain amino acids. Correct. BCAAs, I mean, you can get these. I mean, it definitely comes in foods and what have you, but I'm taking it as a way to protect the muscle that I have. So as I'm cutting, I'm telling my body, don't take from my muscle mass, take from my fat storage. So this is one way to protect that. So what I do is 10 milligrams a day. And what I'll do is I'll take 4 scoops, half scoops, right? So basically serving size is 2 scoops, but I cut it up into 4 times a day. So I'll take 1/4 of the serving size, which is really a half a container, half a little scoop, and I put it in my water bottle, which is 16 ounces. I do that before I do the cardio in the morning. Then I do another one right before I work out or while I'm working out, and another one being another half scoop, which now would be 1 full scoop. Then when I get out of the gym, I'll have my protein shake, and I can add 1/2 a scoop of BCAAs, and then I'll do one more in the evening before I do my evening cardio. I'll do another half scoop. So that's really, I'm getting the full serving size that day by cutting up into fourths because I have a workout and 2 cardio sessions. Christina says, I used to take Vita Amino's brand. I'll be in the gym forever. I only took it before the workout. Well, and I guess he says, well, and during. Correct. Yeah, I kind of do mine as well, the during. I usually, if I'm going to be doing any kind of caffeine, I usually do coffee, black coffee. I tried tea. Tea just wasn't enough, especially in the morning time. You know, some people take pre-workouts. It's completely up to you how you want to work it. And again, guys, if you're watching this and saying that is just way too complicated, keep it simple. I'm trying my best to keep it really simple as far as what to eat and what to work out. But for those who are looking at some of the supplements, BCAAs, I added just about last week. After 7-8 weeks of working out, I just got to a place where I was like, it's time. I just wanted to get into it. Multivitamins, I definitely recommend from the beginning. I'm taking, I think it's Mega Man from GNC. I'm taking it currently in a powder form. I usually take it as a pill form. I wanted to try out the powder because I'm already doing protein powder, so I can just add it to my morning protein drink. So I have essentially EAS has a protein powder, which is about 30 grams per serving, and then I do a serving of the Mega Man, which is a chocolate flavor, so it tastes good, right? So that gives me, that's my my supplements. Is pretty much what I'm doing currently. I'm sure there's some other things that I'll add as time goes on, but to me, that's pretty much where I am currently. I think it's pretty simple, and it's helping me to move forward. So I talked about taking it slow or starting slow. Obviously, we talked about because you want to limit your soreness. It's easy to focus on just a few things instead of becoming overwhelmingly complicated. It doesn't need to be complicated. If it's complicated, you're probably not going to do it anyway. So just start wherever you are. You know, some people, they want to jump in the deep end, they want to do everything, and then they only do it for a week or 2, and then they quit because it's just complicated. I say keep it simple, right? Focus on the habit. Focus on starting slow, and however long it takes you to get there, it gets there. So for me, I've been doing it for about 9 weeks now, and I'm only doing about 3 exercises a workout. I'm doing about 50 minutes of cardio a day. I mean, that's where I'm at currently, but I'm seeing results. Okay. Where am I at today? So I do want to talk about a few things. This is so huge, and I didn't talk about it in the article at all, but I do want to address this with you guys, and that's this is, you know, how do you measure? So some people right now, they're measuring their success by looking at the scale, right? They get on the scale each day or they get on the scale each week, and they look at their progress and they're disappointed because they're not seeing the scale move like they want to. So what I'm going to tell you is, for me, that's actually what happened. I can get on the scale like this morning. I think I was almost 250 pounds. That's the wrong direction, right? If I started at 245 pounds when I started measuring and I'm 250 pounds, that's depressing if I only looked at the scale, because that's not the direction that I wanted to go. But here's the truth. Your scale is measuring everything. I mean, I may have, you know, consumed a gallon of water and I just didn't let go of it yet. I could have, eaten some steak and it just sat on me, or, I mean, who knows what's going on, right? But when I started so today's Monday, I do all my measurements on Monday. And what I can tell you is that my body fat percentage is dropping. So I'm down to about 24% body fat since the last time I measured it 2 weeks ago. So it's dropping week after week. So that's the right thing to look at, right? You want to lose body fat. So what does that tell me? If my body fat is going down, then everything else is either going to be muscle or fat, right? So I'm seeing an increase of strength. I'm lifting more weights. I'm able to lift longer. I'm doing, more sets, more reps, and my body fat is going down. So that speaks volumes for me. The second thing, or the third thing rather, that I've done is I also pull out the tape measure. And this is also important because the tape measure I'm able to wrap it around my body. And I told you my measurements a moment ago, what they were when I started. And what I can tell you is that the tape measure is basically telling me the right thing. I'm losing in all the right places. Now, typically what I have found, and I don't know what it is for you, but I don't lose it all I don't lose it in my gut that fast. I hate it, but my gut is like the last thing to go. My gut and my back fat, it will not go. I don't care what happens. It's the last thing to go. So I'll lose it in my neck, my face. I'll lose it in my chest. I'll lose it in my thighs, but the gut will just hold on to it, screaming for dear life. It doesn't want to go anywhere. So, but I do notice that my hips, my waist, it's all getting smaller. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. It's going away. And as long as I see that progression week after week after week, I'm totally cool. Okay. And I just would say, don't rely solely on the scale, guys, because the scale, it will depress you if that's all you're looking at, right? You'll just be like, it's not working, and you'll give it up. So that is that. As far as the fat caliper, what I use the AccuMeasure fat caliper. I can talk about that in another video sometime soon. But the gist of it is, you basically take, a measurement of your fat on your stomach, you squeeze it, and then you caliper it. Is that the right word? Caliper it, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You basically use it, and then it'll tell you what your rage is. It's one of the most accurate outside of getting in the water and doing that way. So as long as I'm seeing progress, I'm happy. So again, what I love about, using these different measurements is essentially this. Because I can see the change, because I can see that something is happening and it's going the right direction, I'm definitely more motivated about staying in the gym and eating right. Okay. And I would imagine that's going to be the same thing for you. If you're seeing progress in the gym, if you're seeing progress in the clothes that you're wearing fitting better, you're going to be more motivated and more excited about getting the gym and doing the right things. So I would say definitely, if you're not measuring yourself using these alternate methods, get on board. I mean, tape measure, you can go down to Walmart, get that in the sewing section and pull that out once a week and just see where you are. The caliper, I want to say you can get, I think I get it from Amazon. It probably was less than $20, maybe $15. AccuMeasure, if you need that, the link, let me know and I can definitely share it with you. But yeah, that's what I use, and it definitely helps out tremendously. So guys, that's pretty much what I do. I will pause for a moment, and I know we have a number of people who are in the room. I'll just ask, since this is a live, if you have any questions or anything that you want me to talk about while I'm here. Again, I can basically share with you my experience, what I've seen, what I've learned, what I know at this time. And again, if I don't know something, I'll be more than happy to come back and let you know. But yeah, what kind of questions do you guys have? What are your experiences that you're going through? Anything that I can talk about as it relates to eating or working out, or, what challenges are you having that maybe I can speak to? So I'll kind of just wait for a few and see if you guys have any questions or comments. Let me see what else is being said in the comment section. I see a lot of people, hey, how's it going? Not bad. Just kind of scrolling through to see if I see anything in here. Right. I see people like, hey, that's my battle too. I've heard people, somebody looks like Montez, that's my battle too. Christina says it shows in my face as well. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Stacy Jones. Okay, so I don't see any questions at this time. Hopefully you got some value out of this. Hopefully, oh, I got a question here. Min has a question. What are your fitness goals, and are you simply trying to lose weight? So let's talk about the fitness goals. So right now, it definitely is about, the biggest thing I think is just losing the weight initially. I'm not really performing in any sports. I'm not, participating in any sports. I'm not, playing basketball. I'm not, not playing football or anything like that. So for me, initially, it's just about losing that weight. I recognize that I'm trying to stay behind my 9 and 11-year-old, however, who are very active. It probably is in my best interest and in their best interest that I lose the weight so I can keep up with them. But for the most part, I don't have any real big fitness goals other than just to look darn good butt naked. I mean, that's not like everyone's going to see me that way, but for me, when I get out, I just want to feel good. I want to look good. Even if the only person that's going to see that is me. I just know that when you walk into a room, when you put on that outfit, I just know it just feels differently when you're in shape, right? When I can get to a point when my waist and my stomach is so slim that my shirt is actually larger at the top where my chest and shoulders are versus at the bottom where my stomach fits out, and that's where my shirt sits. I'm just saying. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. Maybe when I get to a certain level there, maybe the fitness goals will definitely be different. Who knows? I did try a few years ago. I tried to do there was some competitions in the area, maybe do some running. I see Christina, she does a lot of marathons. Who knows, I might want to do a marathon or do like a like a ninja run, or do something that would require me to kind of use that muscle or use the endurance that I have. So I don't know. So okay, well, I see that. I guess that might be the only other question that I see. Again, I hope that you guys got something out of today. I'd like to continue doing this. If you see value, definitely leave me a comment. I know there'll be people who will watch this, later on. If you see value, and if there's another topic that you want me to talk about in the upcoming weeks, feel free to let me know. You can leave me a comment here, or you can drop me a line at my email. That's completely, or send me a message. I'll be continuing to write whatever the article is. I'll do another Facebook Live around that article. So again, guys, I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you on the next one. So until then, I throw up the deuces and say deuces. Thank you, guys. Until next time.